for joining me. So in the next clip, I'm showing you some clips from Kevin Samuels' channel of a particular interview, how he handled a lady that was considered articulate and had things going on for herself versus the ones that we knew outright. He would just outright just have nothing but comedic feedback on. So let's take a look. I am going to jump in and out of the clip, giving you my feedback and commentary on it. And at the end, we're going to chop it up because we're family. We're still here. And I just want to know, how did Kevin Samuels affect my family, my platform, my ladies? Let's get it. Let's go.
That's what I'm looking to create. Still trying to figure that out. I've never had a male figure be direct with me of what I'm doing wrong. So I honestly feel like I've just been kind of like in lost trying to figure it all out. And so that's why I wanted to jump on, because I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong.
What outcome do you want?
I do want to get married, and having children is priority for me as well.
How many children do you want?
2 children, 2 or 3.
What state do you live in?
I live in California, Los Angeles.
Why do you want to get married?
I've always had the desire. I do realize when I was younger, it was coming from, when I look back, because I've done personal development, it was coming from an abandonment wound. I've taken time to heal that piece. And now I realize that I do want to build something with somebody that I can have a soulmate connection and also be a power couple with. And change the trajectory of my family, because we don't come from marriage. I want to show that as an example for my kids.
So in this clip, you're seeing the young lady who's very articulate. She's an attractive young lady. Seems to have her career path intact. And she's explaining to Kevin what she's looking for, what, she kind of expects for who she is as a woman. And you're going to see parts of this. Will not be the full clip. Please go over to Kevin Samuels' YouTube if you would like to see the remainder of this. But you'll end up, you'll see where even with her being articulate, having things going for herself, Kevin still shows her where you're expecting too much. You're 36, you have 2 children, and why would men that are in the top 3% choose you? And that is the question he always wanted women to answer, and they never seem to be able to come up with the right answer. Keep looking at the clip.
How long you watch my programs or anything like that?
Off and on, not too much.
Well, what do you think I'm about to say right now?
I want you to give it to me difficult, hard, because
I'm just saying this. The myth of the power couple is something that was marketed to Black women. What is a power couple? That means we're partners? No.
Are you asking me, sir, or is that a
That's a power couple. That means we're partners. You have 2 or 3 children. Which one?
2.
Do you want your kids to be able to go to college if they want to?
Yes.
Do you want to travel nationally and internationally with your children?
Both.
Do you want to have to work to pay significant bills after you're pregnant and married with your first child?
Yes,
You want to have to work to pay significant bills when you're pregnant.
Oh, significant bills? No.
Significant, yeah.
I would like
to pay significant bills right now. Okay. So, what percentage of the family financial load do you want to have to be responsible for an entire lifetime?
I would say 30 to 40%.
Okay, 30 to 40% means if you stop working for any reason, you stop bringing in income for any reason, the family is at serious risk. Serious risk, meaning you would not be able to stop working for under. Is that what you're saying?
That's a good question. No, ideally, no.
Because not working while you're pregnant doesn't line up with 30 to 40%. So what percentage of the overall family financial load do you want to have to be responsible for? This is not negotiable. It has to be done.
No, I agree. I would say 10%, honestly.
Okay, 10%. How much would a man need to make in LA to afford two children, a wife, and himself to live an upper class life?
I would definitely say 500,000 or more.
Give me don't give me a more. Just give me a number.
650,000.
All right. Do you care if he's black or not?
No, I'm open.
Okay. You're 36?
Yes.
Have you had a serious relationship with a non-black man?
Yes, I have.
How long did it last?
It lasted a year and a half.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'5".
Dress size?
4.
So just in that clip, he was being rather respectful, but because I'm used to watching him, I knew where he was going with it. He would have dove dead into her had she said she's 5'5" and wear a dress size 18 or 20. It would have been over. Why are you on my phone? And what do you want me to do? What are you looking for? And why are you looking? So that's how he was. So relatively, I chose a more calmer clip of how he handled women. They didn't always get it this easy, but in the end, she still got what Kevin Samuel gave, which was the bearer of bad news. You're not getting the top 1 to 3% of men. Keep watching.
And your last serious relationship is how long ago?
My last serious relationship was 6 years ago.
Okay. And the last time you've been intimate? The last 12 months?
8 months ago.
All right. So, ma'am, what percentage of men earn $650,000 or more?
Well, from the conversation I heard you speak about earlier, it sounded like it was less than 10%.
10% of men earn $100,000.
Okay.
3% of men make $300,000, $250,000, or $500,000. 3% of men make 10%, $100,000. Top 5%, around $250,000. 300,000, you start dropping around 3%. So if a man they can meet that, and how tall? You said you're tall, 5 what?
Say that again.
How tall are you again? You said you're 5 what?
I'm 5'5", 5'8" with heels.
Okay. So how tall does he need to be?
Anywhere like 5'8" and taller. I'm flexible.
Okay. If this man can meet your socioeconomic standard, which is rather on the higher side, I think it's fair to say he can meet most women's. Why would a man choose you? Why would a man choose you over thousands of other women? That's the question.
That's a great question, and I still feel like I'm figuring out how to market myself. I do feel like I've been a firm believer in personal development. I think a lot of us don't come from backgrounds where we were provided with stuff, so I'm constantly seeking this knowledge. That's why I'm on here.
But what would you have? But you have to give me something. You know yourself better than I do, so don't tell me I don't.
Now, in the next clip is what my point is. What I did like about her is what we all should have. You should be able to tell someone at the drop of a dime what your qualities are. And if you struggle with that and you cannot just name them right off top, then maybe you do need to work on yourself. And maybe it's not just Kevin Samuel's view of you or men's view of you. Maybe there's a few things you need to work on. But I love the fact she's able to assertively, and you can see confidently say, I have this, that, and that. I know that about myself. I'm so glad she wasn't one of the ones that said, well, I don't know. I'm cute. I'm a good woman. No one ever knows how to describe what a good woman is. Let's see what Kevin says.
I would say one thing that is my strength is I'm a very social person. So when I think of somebody who is in that income bracket, I feel like I would their business because of the social relationships that I have. I would be that connector. I'm really known for being a good networker. So I think I'd be add value.
Do you know any men that earn that kind of money?
Not personally, no.
Mm-hmm. Do you know any men who earn over $400,000 a year?
Not
no.
Yes, I do.
You do or don't?
I do.
Are they married?
No, they're single.
What do you think a man who makes that kind of income, what are some of the things they would want from a woman?
I definitely feel they want a baddie, for sure.
A what?
A baddie. Like, they want somebody who is like a 10, for sure. Somebody who's well-kept, well-put, dresses well, speaks well, articulate, great conversation, can be in a crowd with anybody and be able to be put together.
You just described a man.
I described a man?
You're describing the prototypical Tyler Perry Sex and the City metro female fantasy.
Hey family, welcome back to the channel. You guys know I've been away because I've been sick. But while I was lying in bed this evening, I learned of some horrible news about the passing of Kevin Samuels. Now, Kevin Samuels, rest in peace, first of all, is what I would like to say to his family and everyone that is close to him. No matter what Kevin Samuels was most known for, at the end of the day, he is still human. He is still the father, the uncle, the brother, the son of someone. And there's a lot of people that do care and love him, care about him, love him, respect him, as well as there are many that do not. But for me and my channel, I say rest in peace. God bless the brother. Did I always agree with what he said? No, of course not. I'm a Black woman, and that's who he mostly targeted, was Black women, but and in a negative way. So that's what the focus is mostly going to be on when people are speaking about him. I knew how to take from it what I wanted, and I knew how to disperse of the rest. And people that did not know how to do that literally gained hatred for the man. Like, if they were to pass away tomorrow, they'll go to hell because they hate Kevin Samuels that much. He was not supposed to have that much power in your life, ladies, FYI. He did not have it in mind. For all I know, I could have been rated a 0 in his book. Do I care? Has it put me into my home, in my car, with my family, and being loved and being married? No, it has not removed any of that or given me any of that. So he didn't have that type of power in my life, but I know that he did affect a lot of ladies' lives. A lot of people began to judge themselves by what Kevin Samuels says. And it's like, you're not worthy. You're not a 10. Of course, the running joke is going to be, I hope he died with a 10. Did the 10 kill him and all of those things? But on a more mature level is he originally was born, I believe, in Atlanta, and he grew up in Oklahoma, and he came back to Atlanta, and then I believe he moved back to Oklahoma after he was divorced. That's what I'm hearing. And then he finished college out there, and his career and things of that nature took off out there in Oklahoma. I know that he resides here in Atlanta for part of the time, as well as LA. I do not know this man personally, so this is all stuff that you just hear on the regular. And I just noticed where he does his shows from a lot is in an Atlanta high-rise somewhere here. But what I wanted to bring on my platform is asking you ladies' opinion. Did Kevin Samuels have that much impact on you that you're glad that the man has passed on? Do you feel safe now? Do you feel like, oh, I don't have this person judging me or making me feel less than? Or there's a platform of what he talks about that makes me feel like I'm never going to get to that perfect place in my life or be the woman that I feel that I am or can be or should be? Do you feel as though you feel a bit of relief, or are you saddened by it? Do you feel like he was kind of a guideline for your life and did make you step back and say, well, you know, I'm not at my best and I do need to do this and I need to do that? I think with any and everything, it's not what you say, it is how you say it. And he had some raw ways of saying it. I actually at one point totally checked out from watching him. I thought he would really say very demeaning things to women that would never get them to a place to say, let me lift my head up and try to be my best self, that they will always look down and feel less than, because he had women believing, if I, Kevin Samuels, only think Beyonce Knowles Carter is an 8 in his book, then what the heck am I, who do not look like her, do not have her fame, do not have her talent? I think that's what too many women that were not sure of themselves or that were growing. Because some of what he said was not wrong. There was things I'm sure that everyone, and even men in your life, you have not gotten to, you needed to do better on. You expected a lot from others and you weren't even doing it for yourself. Or you wanted, like you said, the lifestyle of a 10, but you yourself haven't moved out of first or second place. You're still living at home with mom and you're well over 30 and you're not in college to be a doctor and just trying to get your career on time. And he would have thought that was crazy too. It doesn't take you to 30 years old. He would tell women all the time, ma'am, when your son turns 18, he'll be gone. So let's take him out of the picture. If you haven't checked out some of his videos, I'm sure you will now. I do believe he will be even more famous in his afterlife than he has been now. And he definitely was on a rapid incline in growth. He definitely was very favored by the men because men felt like they were so tired of living up to women's status of what women thought they should be and calling them broke. And Kevin Samuels turned around and said, well, what about you, sis? Can you take care of yourself? But in by the same token, Kevin Samuels said, women did not prepare themselves. They were not taught to be wives, which a wife should be prepping herself to basically be the support system and be supportive of the man who is the head of the household, to come to serve that man, to be his comfort and not his headache. He didn't really think that you should be worrying about getting an education to take care of yourself. You should be focusing on being a wife so that you can attract a man that will help you have life and help you live into your retirement ages. That was a lot of what his speech was about. And he said women today, particularly Black women, were not reared to be wives. A lot of Black women are in survival mode for more than one reason. Too many reasons to be on this platform. A lot of them are household reasons, not coming from two-parent households, as other races as well, but we're just in the higher number of it. So that was one reason. He felt Black women had attitudes, negative attitudes. With that attitude, you're going to die with your dog or your cat. If you were to listen to some of his videos, I removed myself from watching for a long time, not because it got to me, but I just didn't want to witness any more crying and watching women feel so down about themselves. But it actually, I would turn it on sometimes and go straight to the comment section for humor. I would just laugh at the way sometimes he would just cut people off. Ma'am, what do you prefer, a dog or a cat? Probably a cat. Okay, well, choose one, because that's what you're going to die along with, a cat. You know, that kind of stuff he would say. And he'll say, ma'am, you know, his famous words were, rate yourself. Are you from 1 to 10 and you can't choose 7? He felt as though women always choose 7. It's a safe spot. It's not calling yourself ugly and demeaning yourself. And it's not saying over the top, I'm perfect. So he removed 7. And every time he asked that question, it was very hard for women to choose, because if you went lower than 7, that was taking ownership of, I'm not that attractive, I don't have a lot going on. If you went higher than that, you were placing yourself too close to Beyonce, and you better be doing something darn near close to her or looking definitely spot on to her. So if you allowed that to get into your psyche, he definitely wasn't the platform for you. You would self-destruct. You would drive yourself nuts, probably never get to a place or if you were strong-willed, you would know how I, as a woman, would have been able to do. Take some of the constructive criticism, put it into place in your life with what you already know and what you're taught, and, you know, motivate through life and still have self-esteem, feel great about yourself as you're working on being your best self. So ladies, let's just chop it up in the comments below. I just wanted to get on here and say he is going to be a loss to the YouTube world. As much as he was very controversial, he stirred the pot a lot. He did. He made women feel really bad about themselves, and some women were awakened. Which one were you? Did you despise him and you're glad he's gone? Doesn't matter. Don't have to talk about it anymore. Or are you on the fence and say, I could have left him or took him. Or, no, it's sad, although I didn't agree a lot with what he said. There's a lot of things that I could almost see eye to eye with him. There's some things he helped me with. And the same thing with men. Are you a man that was, because he talked about y'all too. You're broke sliding in somebody's DM and you're worrying about a $30 lunch and she didn't sleep with you. He's like, bruh, you're broke. You had no business worrying about, if you're worrying about a $30 lunch, you need to stop dating. You're broke, So he was hard on anyone that just was not financially stable. If he did not see where you had a career versus a job that could carry you through retirement age, I think, what would he say? Do you have your $2.7 million that it's going to take to retire? And you would say no, or you'll be like, well, what do you do for a living? Oh, I drive, the school bus or whatever, ma'am. And then, yeah, I know my standards. I'm not going to let nobody, I'm not going to settle, ma'am. Settle for what, ma'am? You drive a school bus, ma'am. Ma'am, you have a job. You do not have a career. He was that type of guy. So, but are you a woman that can say, you can say what you want? It's keeping food on my table. I'm able to survive and I'm not having to stay in a relationship that I don't choose to be in because the person is not great to me. And I'm able to do that because I drive these school buses or I'm a police officer and it places the money there for me to just survive. Sometimes that's all some people are going to ever do in life is just get by. And that's not what Kevin Samuels stood for. So, let's talk in the comments. It's deep. It's going to get deeper. Conversation is going to stick around for a while. He was a pillar in the community for controversy. He was. Eye awakenings for some glad that he closed his eyes. But at the end of the day, me, Jersey, Keisha, I view him as a man that he made it to where he was. He was successful in his own right. And I wouldn't say just in his own right, but he made it, And he took his education and applied it to, what's going on here in the world today. And he paired it with his opinion. He also did image consultant. So the moment he spoke with you, he would say, what's your dress size? How much do you weigh? And right there, he would already start off saying, you're already at a 5, like, because you're 5'2" and you're 202, like, ma'am, you do not wear, ma'am, you don't wear a size 6, ma'am. You're 5'2" and you wear 202 pounds. Make it make sense. Let's do the math again. The math ain't mathing. So he made me laugh at times. He made me a little angry with him at times as well. I would be remiss to say that I wasn't, and I'm a woman and I'm Black. Okay. And I am a woman that's also over my supposed to be correct weight, So someone like him would be very hard on anyone that is out of their, weight class and, things of that nature. I guess he would have been happy because I am married, but he said if you were 35 and older, you were leftovers. What do you think about that? Do you feel like leftovers? Do you feel like it's over for you? Because I can tell you that it's not. And that's why people shouldn't hate this man. You should just hate the fact that you took him more serious than you took yourself. And you allowed him to get so deep into your psyche that you didn't know how to just pull a few pieces and do a little auto-correcting on your own without allowing someone to affect how you feel about yourself and see you in your best light and your God, because God made you. You know what I'm saying? So don't be upset with the fact that, or be happy that that man is gone because of what he was saying. Be upset that you took what he said to heart so much that you couldn't get past it. And you couldn't become your best self without hating Kevin Samuels. You know what I'm saying? And you never had to watch him. You could have did like me. I tuned out. When I wanted laughter, I would tune back in. Some things I would say, you would see a lot of the sisters out of just, girl, you sound crazy. I'm a woman and you sound crazy. So you couldn't get mad with him altogether. But let's talk about it. It's late night. Chopping it up with Jersey. I just felt like I never cover celebrity stuff. But this is one time I did want to speak on it because I have brothers. And my brother, my closest brother, we chop it up about him all the time. And of course, we're, you know, because he's seeing a lot of what he's saying, because my brother considers himself a high-value man, a man well over 6 figures, a man that has everything of his own. He does not need a woman. He does not have a woman living with him. He dates and builds businesses, okay? So he's a part of what Kevin was so proud of. And so my brother was in agreement with a lot of running into women that thought so much of themselves but offered so little. So we would bounce off of each other. And I know he's going to have this on his podcast as well. If you're in the Atlanta area, I will also probably shout his business out. He has a private lounge here in the Atlanta area that actually I think it opened for Cinco de Mayo this weekend. So, but all right, let's chop it up. Let's talk about it. Tell me what you felt and why you felt that way. Don't just say, hey, I'm glad that blah, blah, blah is gone, or I'm sad or whatever, or he helped me, or he took away from me, or he made me feel a particular way. Why did he make you feel that way? And what can you do about it going forward? Because he is no longer here. But his platform, his information, all that stuff, I'm pretty sure will be around as long as YouTube is around. I think it's going, he's made history for himself. So salute, rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. And let's talk about it, ladies. Since this is Chopping It Up with Jersey on the late night, I'm going to release this as soon as I finish because it is hot, it is fresh, it is new, and it is sad to me. All right, ladies, be better to yourself tomorrow than you were today. And y'all know it's never goodbye. I'll see y'all later. Jesus talking now. I know you heard that.